Now, how do you cook a 3 Michelin Star Main course spending less than $5 per serve? Now, is that actually possible in our times? You'd be surprised. But to achieve such a feat, there's some serious criteria like spending no more than $5 per serve. Challenge number 2, keep it simple that you can easily recreate that dish at home at any time. Challenge number 3, and that's where it's going to get really hard. Get the food critic to approve it's worthy of my claim. And challenge number 4, the hardest one, convince my wife to forgive me for feeding her that. Now, I picked it up from my local butcher for $5, and it makes the most spectacular main course, Marco Beer White's pot roasted pig's head. Now, I was a head chef of Marco's, and I can tell you that this was not his dish. He copied it from none other than the legendary pope of all chefs, Robuchon. Pig's heads are exceptionally cheap because no one knows how to cook them, but their meat is exceptionally flavorsome and lip-sticking tender. It's one of the most delicious things that you can ever eat, so let's do it and have some fun. So first, I needed to remove the tongue by disconnecting it underneath where it is attached to the jaw. That was easy. The eyes are always a bit creepy as it sort of gives the big head still a lot of personality. I felt it's watching me, so I cut them out as well. But the recipe asks for dissecting it, so I needed to split it. So I cut the skin off the jaw to give me a marker when splitting it. The other marker, on the other hand, I knew is where the spine connects to the head, right between those two knuckles. I knew I need to be careful to get this right, otherwise I destroy the brain. And off I went, once, twice, 3 times, and it was in half. And I was proud of myself. I did an amazing job considering the brain was fully intact and still in its sack. I opened that sack and carefully removed the fragile brain. I also harvested another treasure, the delicious sweetbread. Now you can see already we are going to have here so many amazing flavors and textures in this dish. It makes most other Michelin Star Main courses boring. Cheeks, snouts, ears, brains, sweetbreads, and lots of other delicious bits and pieces. But the head was still not fully split, so I got a knife and I cut the remaining skin. But there was blood everywhere, plus the pig's head did not have a good day. It had a bloody nose by now, and that's what happens if you mix with the wrong crowd. So I bleached it by covering it with water in the fridge overnight. The brain and the sweetbread I bleached separately. The next day came and the big moment arrived. My budget 3 Michelin Star meal started to become a reality. To cook it, I got some garlic, onions and carrots and mushrooms. I cut them up roughly, I got a pan, some butter, and I browned the vegetables, but I realized the onions, sugars burned a little bit on the bottom. But I knew that's sort of okay. A hint of bitter would be just really rounding up the other flavors, but just not too much. So when I felt it was right, I got some cider, as that goes so nicely with pork. Bit of tomato paste to make it richer, honey, which goes nice with thyme, but I realized now there are lots of sweet flavors in here, so I needed some sour. Balsamic vinegar. To make the sauce more interesting, I added some spices like cloves and pimento. And yes, you do have the recipe in the link below. The flavorings in the sauce are a mix of Marco's and Robuchon's and a bit of my own recipe. But now the pig's head. I removed it from the water and you can see it's much cleaner. But for the skin not to attach itself to the tray, I lined it with baking paper. Pig's head went in, skin side down, so the flavors can infuse. The onion and cider mix went in, and so did some veal stock, till everything was fully submerged. Tin foil over the top and into the oven at 180 degrees for approximately 4 to 5 hours. Now this gave me plenty of time to finish what was left in a can of cider. This was just the refreshment I needed to re-motivate myself to whip up the vegetable garnish. The choice here is seasonal and all within the budget, but good enough to convince the food critic at the end. Now, I don't know if you know, but button mushrooms with long stems or hollow stems are old and soft and soggy because the stem keeps growing and sucks out all the moisture off the heads and spoils them while sitting in the fridge. So a chef tip here is that if you want to store mushrooms for a few days, remove the stems. Still use them, but don't allow them to suck the mushrooms dry. Then I built some shallots. I removed the leaves of some Brussels sprouts while also peeling some asparagus. I marked it with my knife as a guide to where to place my peeler. Small carrots, but with them you have a similar issue with the mushrooms. You place that in the fridge like that and the greenery will suck out water of the carrots where they get soggy and dry. So remove that stuff and store it separately. But then I remembered I still have not cooked the brains and the sweetbreads, so they were still bleaching in the fridge. So I removed them from the water. I got some chicken stock, a dash of vinegar, salt and thyme, and brought that to a boil. I gently placed the brains and the sweetbreads in there and simmered that on the lowest heat for approximately 8 to 10 minutes. This gave me enough time to make some coin-sized fondant potatoes. I cut them out, took off the edges and placed them into a pan. The shallots I also cut and added them together with some garlic. Oh yes, and thyme went in as well, a bit of chicken stock, some salt, and let's not forget the most important ingredient, butter. I covered it with a lid and I boiled it for 10 minutes. The brains and sweetbreads were now ready, so I removed them and set them aside. But I'm multitasking here. It got a bit stressful, but thanks God, I still had some cider. So I removed the lid and then I caramelized it and all was done. And so was unfortunately the cider. So I thought it's time to remove the pig's head from the oven on the tray. Looks good, and I would just eat it like that, but you remember what I said at the beginning, 3 Michelin stars and the food critic. So I removed the snout, I diced it. The ears I cut into fine strips. The cheeks and the meat from the temple I left whole. And the tongue I peeled and split in half. But then I realized the sauce is nowhere near serving quality, so I strained it. I added some fresh ginger to spice it all up. I reduced it to a syrup, and while that was happening, I got the brains and the sweetbreads. I dusted them with flour and browned it in some butter with the mushrooms on both sides. Now I'm multitasking here again, but this time it was so much harder because there was no cider left. Pan, water, carrots, lid on, cook for 1 to 2 minutes, Brussels sprouts and asparagus, and cook for another minute. It all just came together as expected. Some salt and pepper and butter into the sauce. The meats are warmed in there too, and let me tell you, it tasted and smelled delicious. Now you must agree that I achieved challenge 1 and 2. I was under $5 per serve and it was really easy to do. So I plated it with the aim to accomplish steps 3 and 4, convince the food critic and not upset my wife for feeding her a pig's head. So here's the food critic, which coincidentally is also my wife.
And here we go, we're gonna try a dish today, which I'm not gonna be telling you what it is until the end. Look at that, oh, that looks...
I have a sneaky feeling I know what this is. Okay. You're trying to trick me because this looks very good, it smells really nice, but I saw a head on the table the other day.
So you wanna try a little bit of this here? I'll tell you where to start. You need to start here, and then you eat your way around. Eat each piece, because there's a lot of different textures and flavors going on today.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Different parts of the head. Okay, I'm just going to eat it. It's lucky I'm hungry, and it's lucky that I like meat and gravy, so I'll just be quiet now and start eating it. So this part first.
Yes.
Do we need to show what this part is? Okay, here we go. Very tasty.
Next one.
Reminds me of, now I like this piece actually. I'm gonna go back for some more. Very nice. So next piece. This piece here, I'm guessing that is an ear or a cheek. Maybe not an ear, it's ooh.
It's a cheek.
Or is it a liver?
It's a cheek.
It's a cheek. It's not chew enough for an ear.
There's no liver in the head.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I still prefer this bit. I know what that bit is.
That one.
Okay, I'm just taking. Ugh. That's like really soft and rubbery. Do I really have to eat that? It might be a lip.
Hey.
It looks quite fatty.
It's not bad.
It's not fat. Okay.
All collagen. All
Oh,
healthy.
collagen's
Healthy.
good. That's good. That's good for the neck, ladies.
It's good, isn't it?
It's actually not bad. Has my neck improved? Okay. And this is another part of the head.
Yes.
It breaks away very nicely. What do you call that? Is there a term when it breaks? Like it's quite
Yeah, it's cooked
stringy.
softly.
I've eaten something like this before.
Pulled pork.
Yes, pulled pork.
Try
Thank
that one,
you.
Try that one. Try that one.
I like.
And then.
So far,
this
I
one.
really like it.
Try that one.
No, I reckon that's a tongue.
Yeah.
Can I pass on that one?
No. Cooked the beef tongue the other day and you liked it.
What? Did I have some beef tongue?
Yes, but
Oh.
you didn't know about it. So
Great.
anyway, you liked it. You said it's amazing.
It is nice, but the fact it's a tongue, I can't get my head around it. But it is nice.
Let's try that one.
But I just keep seeing the pig in my mind. Sorry.
We like roast pork.
That
so
is
sweetbread.
definitely a brain.
No, that's not brain.
That's what I've been seeing in the fridge for the last few days. I'm like, what are those little things there? That is definitely a brain. That's quite chewy to cut into. So is this like a pig's platter? I hope no one who's vegetarian or anyone else is watching this.
Well, eat roast pork, eat sausages, you eat ham and
It's
bacon.
quite chewy.
Yeah, you can eat that stuff too.
The brain's chewy. That's probably a good thing. It needs to be a bit firm anyway. Yep. My favourite would be the first bit I had.
The first bit?
Yes.
Which was the cheek, then snout. That was under the middle of the snout, yeah.
Really?
Well, that's because it's like sticky.
That's a mushroom, right? Okay. Surprisingly, very nice.
Yeah,
Just a nice white meat dish.
yeah,
I personally wouldn't eat the brains.
yeah,
The collagen I would only eat because I know it's good for me, but I don't like the texture personally.
yeah.
But if it's good for me, I tend to eat
It's like a
things.
big strotto then.
The tongue, again, nice, but visually I can't imagine myself eating a tongue. But the rest of it's lovely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, see, that doesn't look like any part of a face, so I can eat that.
So would you proof of that?
Against what? Is there a comparison today?
No.
How would you compare with a pig's head?
No, it's just like, would you like that? Or like something I could cook for dinner party?
I do, but my inner vegetarian person comes out at this point.
Vegan.
I know I'm not, but occasionally I could be.
She's a vegan for like 2 or 3 hours.
I do believe that we need to eat meat, but not necessarily pig's head. But yes, I would definitely eat that if I didn't know what it was. Yes, it is very good. I approve not of the pig's head, but I approve of the dish.
No,
Yeah.
I made it. So I hope you liked it. Please check out my video on tartare because I think that will be an amazing dessert with
Yep.
that pig's head.
Yes.
And yeah, look forward to seeing you next time.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing the comments on this one, the pig's head. So you can concur with me. You can go, poor woman, poor wife. I survived. What do I have to put up with being married to you? All right, see you guys. See you next week.